Hello, I'm Darren. I am a local fishing angler in Flower Bluff, the Upper Laguna Madre. And just introducing myself, I'm new to the Salt Strong Insiders Club, and I just wanted to, for my first post, give a little insight of my latest fishing trip. Uh, It was a long trip. I think we 8:30 to uh, 3. I felt like it was a long trip, and we didn't catch anything major, which was not what I thought was gonna happen. We kind of had a plan together, but I got a little anxious and didn't stick to the plan. So I think for the lesson today that or my last trip was make a plan and stick with it. But so we left out of is this it? Yes, Bluff Bay Marina. Um, this is where I work at actually. Uh, Storage boats and whatnot and launch them. But yeah, we left out of here and we made our way first to the molars right here. I think this was actually one. Yeah, this was actually one of the first spots that we went to. And let's see here. All we did was we came in and say we start at this point right here, and we just drift down. And I think I caught. I think when we stopped, I caught one little trout, and this was still early. I think the bite was at 11, or no, it was at 10, and we got there at like 9. So we were an hour ahead of the bite, and we started fishing, and we just drifted between the intercoastal and the molars, and one little trout, and didn't really catch anything. So that's when I got anxious. I didn't look at the tide, which I should have, that we were an hour early. So then the next stop we did was we went behind these islands right here. I think these are where the yes, this is where we went, and man, we were here for like 30 minutes, and all we did was just troll, or not troll. I keep saying troll. All we did was drift down here, and so we didn't catch really anything on that part. One trout. I think I caught two trout, and that's when I was like, okay, maybe we have to go down south more. Really, I should have sticked with what my original plan was, and this is just, I guess, me being uh, a little anxious and like almost like spazzing out, like, okay, we need to go here, we need to go there. We need to go somewhere, and we're not on the fish. And everywhere I went, there was some fish jumping, but no birds. I feel like finding birds feeding is like, my experience, like when you're really gonna get on the fish. So next stop, we went right here. I think this is called the Trout Highway. And what we did was we walked this one actually. Instead of drifting like the other two, we actually came in. That's a little. We came in, put the boat right here. Shoot, that is not a star. But then what we did was we walked up, and I had one of my buddies with me actually. He was casting out here, and I was on the opposite side casting here, trying to get both sides, see if there's anything. He actually caught a little trout somewhere. along this ridge right here, and I didn't catch anything. I didn't get one bite, and so we got up here, and then I didn't see really any fish. Only fish I really saw were mullet jumping way out here, way out there on the edge of the intercoastal. So I was like, okay. So then we walked back, left that spot. We left that spot. Then we came over here as well. Not a single bite. I mean, I think I saw some fish uh, jumping, being spooked, and right here some mullet and probably some little reds. But the only problem that I find is that with because I don't have a trolling motor or anything. I don't know if you need a trolling motor if you just okay because you don't want to spook them. We do have a pushing pole, and so this is our boat right here, and we're drifting in this direction. And the fish that what I saw was just mullet right though. Were right here, just like a little area, and probably the reds were. That was probably the reds right there. So my question is, okay, do you jump out? You don't want to make. I don't want to make noise, but do you jump out and start walking towards them, or do you use push pull, work against the current? That's the only thing is working against the current when you're using your when you're polling is like what I find difficult, and like really only one of y'all's at the front. I mean that's real teamwork right there, I guess. But since I don't have a trolling motor, what are really my options? You know, so we had that problem, and but after that, then I was like, okay, let's just go back to the molars, and I think the first stop that we had was probably right here. This is when oh what the that was first time using this actually. First, so we stopped right here. That whoa, it's not what I wanted to draw. Yeah, we just dropped our little boat and we just drift down. All actually pretty far. We were just doing long drifts and we're casting. I was casting kind of in between right here, and right along the ridge, as kind of close as I can, and then halfway through my cast, I was pulling in trout nonstop. Even sometimes right when it hits the water, I was getting trout. My other friend was he was casting towards the bank in that direction. He didn't catch anything the whole time. Like for we were there for like shoot probably 2 hours, and we were right on like towards the end of the bite, like at the 12 or like at 12:30. I think is when the end of the tide kind of was, and so we just worked the molars the whole time, and I was pulling in trout easy, and then and we were using popping corks. He was using popping corks, and then like uh, a foot of leader line, and then a little. I think it was the Savage shrimp lures. Where I should have them maybe actually. Yeah, Savage 3D shrimp, and so I was catching them on that, and then after that we went this little pocket right here. Nothing. We were pretty much in slack tide, I guess, and Man, I try to find them everywhere. I went here. I even went right on the edge of Intercoastal. Actually, like right here, right there, and then we just drift right here. And once we got to the middle, I was like, okay, we can't stay here. So then we left. But yeah, we fished right at the edge right there. Nothing. And then I was like, before we go in, let's hit every island. So we hit every island, and behind each of these islands, the first one we actually hit was this one right here, and we went right between. My friend caught a lizardfish. Then we went behind this one right here, and then I think we went right here. Yeah, right here. And then we're about to head in, and then I decided, okay, I remember Pete Island being right on the island hot spot, kind of. So then, but of course, there you go. It says incoming. So we were already too late. But we came here, and funny story. I was I was trying to race, and there's this guy. I mean, he just left it right here, and he's probably right here somewhere, and I'm right here, and so I go across to him. I stop right here, start my drift, and then this guy freaking, of course, comes right here, cuts my drift right in front of my face. I don't know what his deal was. I guess he didn't like me being ahead of him. I don't really know, but that was not a cool move. But yeah, that kind of ruined the trip for me. And then I was like, okay, let's just go back in. I mean, that one total buzzkill. That guy, that was messed up. But yeah, we went back, and then that was pretty much the trip. I mean, we were catching. I must have caught like 20, at least 20 small trout here, just right here. And if that's where, you mean, if you just gotta work them, and you gotta find the big ones in those schools, I guess. I mean, that makes sense. Um, if I missed the bite because I was too busy driving from spot to spot, I guess the real move is to stick with the plan. Don't get anxious and switch your spot up. Yeah, look. I guess I had to look at the tide where I'm at on time and just wait for them. I don't know if that was the wrong move for me switching spots, or the fish just weren't there. The big fish weren't there. The reds. I couldn't really see any signs of. I mean, I didn't see any reds tailing or anything, but that was just pretty much a sum of my whole trip. If there's any tips y'all could give for Upper Laguna, that'd be really helpful. But yeah, that was just a little summary of my trip. Fishing a tournament uh, next week. Islanders, the A&M Islander anglers are hosting a tournament fundraiser, so we're gonna have a team. We're gonna try and do that, and yeah. Uh, then again, my name is Darren. Uh, Hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching.